What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Stirfry. It's your boy, Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And our special guest today is Richard Starr.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing, everybody?
Good, how you doing?
Good, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so you're a director of Boys and Girls Club in Cleveland.
Yes.
And also advocate for youth.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Super dope.
Yeah, I love that you're giving back, especially where you started. So if you want to go ahead and explain a little bit more about what you do.
Well, my name is Richard Starr. I was born and raised by a single-parent mama named Simone Wallace. Second oldest of 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. Grew up and raised in King Kennedy Project neighborhood housing, which is Cleveland's Ward 5 area, close off of Woodland, 63rd and Bundy Street. So growing up in my neighborhood, it was really a rough neighborhood, a lot of high violence going on, crime being committed. Things like that was always played around me. As a kid, I was able to find my happy place by going to a place that we call the Center, also known as the Boys and Girls Club. So as a child, I was, being a mentor to my other siblings, but then I also was trying to figure out my own, my own findings, my own things that I like to do, my hobbies, and I found that when I became a member at the Boys and Girls Club. Fast forward, after I went to Boys and Girls Club, I ended up I was in grade school at George Washington Carver School, and then I graduated there, went to middle school at Central Middle School, and then I graduated from East Tech in class of 2007 as the class president, homecoming king, prom king, things like that. So I was very popular, played football, went on to Ball and Wallace College then, and wanted to pursue a sports management degree with a background in management there. But while I was there, I was still working at the Boys and Girls Club. And while I was working at the Boys and Girls Club, I eventually started getting promoted and keep climbing up the chart.
Got you. Okay, so King Kennedy. Let's just start right there.
Okay.
It's a very, very rough neighborhood. And you kind of said your place was the Boys and Girls Club, keeping you safe, providing meals.
So in King Kennedy, I had a chance to make a lot of friends.
Right.
In King Kennedy, I have neighbors, who was all raised similar and some was raised different. Some of my friends had both their parents. Some of my friends had single parent household.
Okay.
So in King Kennedy, you had a mixture of, you have a group of people who were focused on doing education, academics. Then you had a group of people who just didn't have the strength or the desire to continue to go after something that they know that they should reach. Example is everyone is taught as a young child to go to school.
Right.
You're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to do your work. You're supposed to come there. But how can you keep telling me to go to school and do all this positive stuff when I'm worried about major issues happening inside of my own neighborhood? Meaning I'm worried about where my next dollar is coming, worried about where my next meal is coming, worried about how can I keep these lights on, things like that. That's a adult aspect that you would think. But when you're a young teenager, you start to take on that burden for your mom or your parents. Like, what can I do to contribute to the house? But I know my mom and my dad would, or my mom and my aunt and my grandma or someone like that would want me to continue to go to school. But you're like, we're struggling. And what I mean by struggling is we're not having the same opportunities because we have a lot of things that prohibits us from achieving those goals. So it's hard to tell someone living in a project like, I just want you to continue to go to school. Education is the number one way. That's the only thing you need to focus. But you got a bigger scale of approach, like there's not enough income or revenue being generated for that household. So therefore, you end up getting those people who drop out of school and they find a quick way to get the hustle. And that then turns into something that becomes a lifestyle, then causes for them now to be out in the streets, which turns into, either you full throttle or not. Meaning if you're in the streets ain't you halfway in and halfway out. And that's when you get borderline and you get senseless acts of violence happening on those who really were not full throttle. I don't advocate for people to be street guys or things like that. I advocate for positivity, but I understand the logistics of why people make those choices and decisions they made. A lot of things has nothing to do with that individual. It's just a lot of things, influences, needs that they have around them.
Okay. Yeah, so the Center was a place where you could go and be around, people that were from where you're from and experience similar things that you could experience, and then you could relate to them. You could see how they gave back, how they did good. Yep. And I think that's wonderful, and I definitely think more kids should be able to feel like they're free to go to those places.
Yeah. So the Center, when you go to the Boys and Girls Club, aka the Center, the Boys and Girls Club there at King Kennedy was our happy place. Right. Meaning where you learn how to play all the video games, sportsmanship, compete in different games, hot meals, homework help, learn how to do everything, even learn how to crack jokes, learn how to take, you get into your first little scuffle in the gym because over some sports, things like that. But Boys and Girls Club was always like an extra added parent for those who needed it, meaning mom was worried about trying to get everything she needed for the house, get you together, and she's doing it on her own. You go to the club, you got staff there and mentors there that would obviously supervise you and mentor and make sure you're doing everything great. But then also you had people there that was go above and beyond for you. So that became a place like, I'm gonna do it because Mr. Scott said it, Mr. Ron said it, Mr. Thomas, Pratt, and Mr. Keys, and it go on with these other people there. It kind of helped us out. So we learned some stuff and we talked about real life issues. Like when we were acting up and we were getting into fights and how we were doing stuff. When we in the center with all of us at, you would talk about it, and then next we have a staff member break down like the do's and don'ts. Say y'all did this, but now what? Yeah. Now you got beef. Do y'all want to walk around when you got beef all the time? And it taught us a valuable lesson because I remember times where we had serious issues going on with us versus the other neighborhoods, fighting each other for nothing, getting into all type of negative stuff, and that was just causing for us to just become a part of the problem and less solutions. So the Boys and Girls Club took a hold of me personally, and I took a lot of learning capabilities from them by venturing off and diving deep into the programming, figuring out ways the Boys and Girls Club can be resourceful for me and help me out in different ways, like teaching me that, Rich, you can't be trying to be out here getting into fights and being called cocky rich and fighting all the time, and you sitting here with a 3.7 GPA. But you're your class president, you're the homecoming king, you're the prom king. No one else is expressing those things to me but people at the center. So at the Boys and Girls Club, they're the ones helping me get on track on making sure that I do stuff. So when I was in the streets, hanging with my friends, and we were getting into stuff and just being teenagers, my mindset was like, I'm cool, I'm just doing what I'm doing, but I still took care of home first because I was taught early that school was the right way to go. But at the same time, I had friends who were in the streets who would not allow me to dive full throttle into the streets. I have we call them OGs, but I got big brothers who would tell me like, no, Rich, that ain't for you. Like, no, this is not your lane. No, I'm not gonna let you do that. Right. And that really showed me that the love that they had for me was different than anything else, because they could have easily said if I needed something and I had the desire to want to make money and need more money, that if I wanted to get a pack or something, it was there. Yeah. But it's up to me to make a decision and choices around me. But I also had mentors and big brothers who was like, no, we ain't doing that, Rich.
Yeah, and they showed you that love, Yeah,
they put me together, and still to this day they hold me accountable to things. Like I have big brothers that have called me and let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Come here, let me holler at you, let me tell you what's going on. And that right there keep me grounded, connected to everything that's going on in my community.
So as a teenager, are we talking about like 13, 15, you kind of feel like you're the man of the house?
Yeah, 13. Oh, yeah, you could be the man of the house as early as 12, 11.
Were you the oldest?
I'm the second oldest. I have an older brother who's 4 years older than me. He was already into his own world, meaning he was already trying to achieve all his dreams and his success, and he was venturing off because he had that gap in between me and him. So it was like his senior year, I was in the 9th grade. Right. So I'm getting to the 9th grade. He's getting ready to leave out. He's already got his mind made up on what he's want to do. So I kind of assume like some mentorship for my siblings just to help them out.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, did it feel like you kind of had to take a position where you were mentoring even your siblings, So you're a role model for them?
I'll take it as an example of this. None of my sister's siblings or my father has been in our lives. So being raised 6 of us in a household by one woman, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, she's working. My mom working 2 jobs, sometimes even 3, just to make sure we're good, just to make sure that we have ends meet. So who raising us? Who's babysitting us?
Right. Yourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So we making adjustments. We're trying to rise above that. Like even though mommy got to go to work, even though mommy have to do multiple things to make sure that we're good, as far as getting our jobs and on the go and constantly on the move, it's like, yo, we had to become close as siblings to make sure each other was there, but that also pushed us away because we was getting on each other's nerves.
Right.
So it became that crazy cycle that everyone got into their own lane and figured out what they wanted to do faster than having just a natural childhood that you would say, like just playing around, being outside. Yeah, we did those things, but we had other more focuses like, yo, you supposed to be at this house by this time because you need to let mommy know X, Y, and Z. Or we then became members at the club, so therefore we're leave school and come to the club.
Yeah, together as
a group.
Do you think that so if you say you were an only child, do you think it would have been the same, like your life would have turned out the same way, or do you think they helped you kind of find this passion and find your motivation?
If I was the only child, I don't think I wouldn't be as strong as I am.
Right.
What I mean by that is I probably would have ventured off and went left. Probably would have got into more wrongdoings. I probably would have been in the streets, could have been in jail, could be dead. Who's to say? But thinking about the environment and the love that I was looking for and wanted when I was 13, yeah, it probably would have veered off to me diving further into the street life. And then it would probably been a bigger hole for me to pull myself up out of than it was when I was just being a young teenager, just having fun. That's what I called it. Fun, just hanging out with the fellas and possibly getting into teenager trouble that we thought was the best thing to do. Yeah. But as a 13-year-old, how can you tell the 13-year-old born and raised in the projects that fighting is wrong? You know what I mean? Like people love
when you see it all the time.
Yeah, people love to say, "Oh, y'all fighting in this, y'all fighting for this, fighting." Yeah, what you determine is something versus what we determine is something. It's two different things. So an adult can tell you like you're fighting over nothing, but in the reality, we're fighting over something. Sometimes this might be the most prideful thing ever. Like we're going through these hormone changes, these hormones changes in our body, trying to figure out who we are.
Right.
You know, we're not the same person when we were 6 to 9. You're not the same person up to 12. About 13 and 15, you two different people. And then by the time you graduate high school, you done changed and found who you were 3 times in high school. So when you got all these things going on with you, it's kind of hard for us to be told like, yo, teenagers, y'all just fighting over nothing. But no, we really was fighting over respect. We fighting over sports games. We fighting over things that happen that we think is the world. Because at 13,
that's all you know.
All I thought about was Ray Lewis and Kobe Bryant. Right. 13, like they're the greatest, and Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z, Ray Lewis, Kobe Bryant. Like that's it. That's the only thing I thought of at the time. But I'm like, yo, you can't say nothing about my guy, and it caused conflict. And things like that, and then the little small things turn into bigger things, then become much greater. Now everybody talking about it's a big old war. So we understood a little bit what the adults were saying, but we didn't see the picture because stuff wasn't happening that way.
Right.
So how did you balance all this? Like, so you did all these great things. Seemed like your senior year of high school going very well, but it's also this whole double life when you're not in that school building. So how do you put all this together? And
I read you were working, 40 hours a week at rallies?
So what I did was, the way I try to balance is similar to how I live now still.
Okay.
I get up early, get my day started. I'm out of the house usually now about 5 in the morning. Back then when I was a kid, I was out about 6:30.
I'm assuming a lot of less fist fights now.
Yeah, no, I ain't got the patience to fight nobody now. I don't. I'm more intelligent if I can send that email and get things done, accomplished, or get on the cell phone now.
Gotcha.
But I would balance everything just by, I want to say, level of importance. Okay. I know I had to get to football practice. I know I had to go to school. I know I had to go to work. I just created a system like, yo, I'll get up, go to school, get everything done for school, go to football practice. After football practice, I may have to go to work and knock out some hours and come back home. So I was getting home by 10 o'clock as early as being in the 9th, going to 10th grade. So I kind of had a busy schedule for myself throughout my whole high school career. So I had a routine schedule, and then I just used to plug and change things according to the fit the needs. But then also I had the Boys and Girls Club there. Like I had a publicist who took all of my important stuff that was going on from like speaking engagement. Amanda, she made sure I was all together. And then I had mentorships, and our president there, Baron Soder, he was influential on making sure I was great. I had Ron Harris, who was my club director at the time. Mm-hmm. He went above and beyond and made sure I was everywhere I was supposed to be, and he would come and get me together.
Right.
So I had some mentors around me, but then I also had the guys that I grew up in the neighborhood that was a huge influence on me. Okay. Meaning they saw the vision before I even seen it. Meaning they were telling me like, no, Rich, you're good at football. No, Rich, you're smart. No, Rich, you're gonna do this. Yeah, you can fight. Yeah, and you ain't no punk. He ain't no punk now. But at the same time, they like, it's much greater than just being known for having this type of fight. You got people there that support you, and we're going to make sure you're right, Rich. So whatever you need, Rich, just let us know, and we're going to help you get to the next stage in life. So, who's to say, like, if I was the only person or the only single parent, only single child, I could say that my influences from my brothers, from the neighborhood, from King Kennedy, they would have continued to help me accountable, I believe.
Yeah.
They probably would have continued to help me accountable, but I think I would have probably fought harder with them. What I wanted to do. It's only me.
Yeah, you're a little more stubborn.
Yeah, I'd have been more stubborn, but it would still been them letting me know, like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it. So, there's so many OGs that I can name.
So, I'm thinking like this. I know how it is, growing up in the club. So, you got the people at the club, you also got, the OGs in your neighborhood, but then it's this whole other group of people like, oh, Rich, you studying, that's corny. Why would you be doing that?
So what you gotta do is you gotta have that tunnel vision. I speak on that tunnel vision because you gotta know where you're trying to go. You gotta understand, like, this game that we call life is nothing but a bus.
Yeah.
And it's like a bus. What I mean is, on this bus, you are the driver of your bus. You may have a lot of passengers on your bus, and they may be on your bus doing the most, cutting up, breaking this window, ripping his seats, writing graffiti here, fighting back there. It may be a lot of that going on your bus.
No, that's the bus for real.
But as that bus is continue to drive, and you continue to drive that bus, we can have that. It's the only thing that you need to do as a driver of the bus is make sure you don't go off the cliff. I can fix the window.
Yeah.
We can fix the seats. We can get the graffiti up. Even if we need to change a flat tire, we can do that. But I just can't go off the cliff. So that means throughout the game of life, riding this bus that I call life, you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have things go wrong. You're going to have things not go your way. But at the same time, as you're driving this, but don't let it go off the cliff. Keep repairing your bus. And guess what? Keep driving to that tunnel because we know we got to get down this road. We know we're going this way. That's why we're riding on this bus. Yeah. So I try to look at it as a standpoint of that is like, no matter what happens to me or occurs that I can't control, I'm not tripping on that. I'm going to take care of what I can control, and I'm going to get to this end goal. So when people was talking about you studying and you doing all this crazy stuff, like you focusing on all this when you can be doing that, I'm going to say, like, everybody can tell you how to do it, but they never did it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like, like Jay-Z said that, like, everybody can tell you how to do it, but they never did it. So therefore, why would I take advice from someone who never done what I'm trying to do? So when they're telling me negative things about what I'm doing that's positive, it doesn't matter to me because you never did.
Because you already know where you want your destination to go. Like, you know
I'm on
the
my
road.
bus.
Yeah.
Got you.
Even if I put them on the bus and they with that negative stuff, it's fine that you're on my bus with that negative stuff. But you're not about to take this bus off the cliff.
Yeah,
I'm driving it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you just try to take it to the standpoint like I can do whatever I put my mind to, no matter the distractions or their interference of others. I can't let them change who I am. I'm going to stay in my zone, do what I need to do, keep this bus on repair mode, and we're going to go ahead and make it to our goal.
Yeah, I feel like I'll make one thing. But I feel like a lot of times they have these people on the bus that could be negative. And instead of like saying, I'm in control, I'm driving the bus, they sometimes let other people drive the bus for them. And that's like the worst thing you can do. And like that's what happens though. And then it happens to somebody else. And then it's like a spiral effect down the lane. But you have to know that like you are in control of your decisions and you are driving the bus to that goal.
And that's the important thing, because if anybody else is driving your bus, you're just a passenger now.
Yeah.
But it's still your bus.
By.
Yeah, you're a passenger not on your own bus. That is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So you had this mentality at 18, basically.
Yeah, take over the world.
And you went straight to a dorm room. Like, so we're talking about like project housing, straight to like a dorm room. So what is that even like?
So my thing is, when I left high school, I went to Baldwin Wallace.
Right.
I went to school because everybody told me I needed to go to school. I didn't really have no graduation date in line, meaning I was going to graduate in 4 years. I didn't have that in the picture. I just knew that I had to go to school, and I knew I was playing football at school. So I didn't really have the whole...
Oh, so you played football for Baldwin Wallace?
Yep, I played 2 years for Baldwin Wallace. Okay. I didn't have the picture in my head like, in 4 years I'm walking the stage, get this degree, then I'm going to look and pursue this and this and that. No, I knew that I was leaving my neighborhood, going to school, to go to college, to play football and be successful. But I didn't have a picture painting of what my success would look like or what my story was. So my time at Baldwin Wallace was up and down. I went through culture shock when I first got there, seeing that I didn't see that many students that looked like me. Okay. So I was on a campus full of people that were white. I was in a situation, my first classroom, we were asking a question and I answered, gave my response, and then someone else answered the question and their grammar were much more improved. Professor appreciated their response and I'm like, I said the same thing. Right. So therefore I had to learn that I needed to work extra harder just to get by, meaning I'm putting in double extra work just to get C pluses, B work. I wasn't well prepared academically coming from the school that I came from, out of East Tech, but at the same time, I knew that I have more to offer than me to be struggling and working this hard not to be successful. So I went through my ups and bruises up until my senior year. I dropped out of school. Okay. I dropped out of school. My mom lost her job, and once she lost her job, I just was like, I need to get more money because my mom need more. So therefore, you have that influence that there's other ways you get money and there's other ways you can't get money. So I knew that I was working for the Boys and Girls Club, going to school, and I said if I pick up another job, I'll be able to help support my mom, help my mom out a little bit, do what I can do. But meanwhile, I didn't think like, I need to go to this bursar's office, financial aid, and withdraw my classes and let them know that I need to, drop out for a minute and I'll return in the next semester. No, I just didn't do nothing.
Oh, so I
just stopped going to class.
Oh, okay.
So I already was going to class for about 4 or 5 weeks, then I just stopped going to class. So therefore, I ended up getting all Fs, all incompletes.
Oh man!
Then the cost.
I'm in a hole, and then when I'm in that hole, it took me to a standpoint that I was like, what's next for me? What am I going to do? How I'm going to, I didn't know when I was going back because I didn't even know when I was going to graduate that year because I'm just like, I'm a senior, but I ain't really all the way there. So long story short, I was able to figure everything out because I was just trying to do something to help my mom. Yeah. Like I just really was trying to help my family and be successful. So therefore, I never planned on going back until 2018. Do you want me to go into, it just...
I want to say something for the people watching. Listen, for those of y'all that haven't experienced college or about to experience college, it's a lot better to fail a test than to not show up. Yeah. Like, it's a lot better. That might sound crazy, but trust me, it's a lot better to fail the test than to not show up.
Yeah, because I did that a lot. Like, me just not going to school and just dropping out held me back a lot. Yeah. And it was just something that I didn't know what I was going to do or what I was going to do as far as that chapter on my book. Like, I knew I had that on my plate. I still needed to finish school, but I still was working and managed to work my way up through Boys and Girls Club to become a club director and over 2 sites right now and athletic director over 14 sites in Cleveland. Okay. So I'm like, how do I take myself to the next level? I mean, I need to go finish school. Yeah.
But while you were going to the Boys and Girls Club and like trying to get up the ranks in that, you were also working another job, right?
Yep, I was working on another job. I was working at Taco Bell. I was working third shift at Taco Bell, manager on a night shift. So we were. Oh, wow. So the schedule of the routine of steady being busy, since ninth grade, I've probably been that busy. I've been steady being busy for about 13, 14 years now, just nonstop.
Do you think like structure? So it sounds like your whole life you've been kind of like, okay, I'm gonna join these activities because I know it's gonna create structure in my life. Do you think that's like it's kind of important for people to be involved in things that
I think I need to be involved. I think if I'm not active, I get bored easily. Yeah. And boredom strikes. Now your wishful thinking thoughts go all over. I'm one of the guys like with this whole COVID going on. March 15th, once they shut everything down, I've been struggling since May. Oh, yeah. I was struggling.
Oh, yeah, your job revolves around just people.
Right, people. I was struggling like, you know, it felt good to be at home. But I'm like, yo, this couch is getting boring. These TV shows suck.
Can
And
only
I don't
watch
want to
so
watch.
much.
I watched every Netflix show that everybody was putting on Facebook and social
swear,
media.
dude.
I've seen Snowfall. I've seen Bumpy Johnson. I've seen Money Heist. I've watched meaning I'm finishing these seasons like this, like that. But it was more so like I'm used to actively being engaged and being involved as much as I can, hands on, as far as helping out.
Yeah, I'm curious. How do you think the COVID kind of affected the Boys and Girls Club as a whole? Like, were there still at-home activities that you guys were putting out for kids, or?
So what affected us the most is first we had to shut down.
Right.
And once we shut down, we, offer programming to now in Northeast Ohio about 39 sites. So in Akron, Lorraine, Sandusky, and Cleveland, we're all one organization called Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
So shutting down meaning all program stops. So what we were able to do once we found out that we were shutting down, immediately we had a team that was assembled for us to do virtual programming. So we start offering some of the same program that we would do in the club virtually through our website, Boys and Girls Club, Northeast Ohio website. We were able to then offer virtual cyber programming for kids.
Okay.
So they can be able to click the link, see the videos, staff recorded, made videos, find different activities, incorporate those activities so kids can be able to get some type of physical fitness, academic success, as well as some character and some leadership with some warm welcome.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing that, even because even though there's a time where everything was shut down and everything was just pretty much seemed like it stopped, the kids are always there, you know what I'm saying? And to still teach them at home and to keep them engaged, even at a time when, like, they have to be stuck in the house.
That's important.
And they need stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's so important.
That's important. Like, you can't, you got to think of it like, I know I'm a little older, but I remember when we had a blackout in like 2001. Okay. During that blackout, I thought about the blackout happening and then how we shut everything down, all in the very first initial day. I'm like, okay, when that blackout happened, I was about 13.
Yeah.
Okay. 12. Yeah, I was about 12, 13. You couldn't tell me not to have fun outside. Like,
right.
How could you convince a 12-year-old not to have fun? Or how can you convince 12 the teenagers to be quarantined? The only thing quarantine means to them is, I don't got to go to school and the club is not open.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same. Me and my boys, me and my crew, we about to hang, we about to do what we going to do. We ain't worry about nothing. And that was something big and important that people need to understand. Like, during this COVID, we trying to practice safety, but you call it safety, but everyone doesn't have the same resources to do that. Like, if I don't have that much at home, going on at home, how you want me to stay in the house? I need to get out.
Yeah, I mean, for your mental health, yeah.
I need to get out.
Especially when you're a young kid, like, you need to be with people. Like, that's just how it works, Yeah.
And that's always caused, some concerns for us. So that's why we went to virtual programming, figuring ways to interact and connect with our youth and our members.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people jobs, the whole COVID thing was kind of like a impossible thing. That'd never happen. And then it led to people basically just scrambling around like, okay, virus is out. Okay, government saying we got to do X, Y, Z. How chaotic was it for the Boys and Girls Club? Like
it was very
okay. Let's do this. We can get through this.
So what happened with us is, we're a nonprofit. So a lot of our funding is hands-on, grounds-on, meetings, experience, development, ways to generate, funds for us to, reach our goal for our budget. So when COVID stopped, how can you fulfill grant requirements, funder requirements when you're not even open to provide services?
Yeah.
So we ultimately had to do, like most organizations, furlough on a layoff for certain staff. After that furlough, we was able to then create our virtual team, but we had to let staff go. And that was a tough decision to let someone know that you're being laid off without really no planning or no time to plan.
Yeah.
Because, no one's seen this coming. But no one was able to say, this is when you're going to return either. So we had to make some drastic layoffs, and it was a nice number, and it was a sad time for us as an organization. Me personally, as a supervisor, talking to staff and let them know that we're we as an organization are laying people off.
Especially in the summer when it's so important. Right now it's probably like obviously peak time to be open.
Yeah.
And especially
so we
the
did a
last few
layoff.
months.
So we did a lot of layoffs back in March. As of June 1st, we started calling staff back.
Okay.
June 15th, we are scheduled to open up programming in about 9 different sites.
Great.
So we start getting our team back assembled. We're just still trying to practice the follow all the procedures and codes that Governor Mike DeWine and his office are instructing every organization to do. So we're trying to follow all protocols and measures.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when did you kind of decide that you wanted to dedicate your whole life to giving back and to volunteering? Because it seems like you're always involved in that since the get-go.
I think what struck me is back in 2008 when I came home for the summer and I was working in the clubs with the youth, and I was working as gang outreach counselor over in the Huff neighborhood.
You said 2008?
2008.
2008 was reckless.
Yes, 2008, recession and everything. Through that whole now, we was dealing with working with youth over in the Huff neighborhood, getting them together. We was trying to start a Boys and Girls Club, figuring out how we could partner with the city as far as inside the rec centers and bringing some quality Boys and Girls Club programming to the rec centers.
Right.
So we had a cohort of about 30 young people that we had working with them, and we were just providing mentorships, activities, guidance, structure, stability, going to their houses, making sure they have all the resources they need, providing them with everything they need, mentoring them, working with their parents, and making sure everyone is receiving services. So that's was my first encounter, and I found I like this.
Yeah.
I said, this may be way far, made more sense than me thinking about going to the NFL from a D3 school and me possibly being a lawyer, because I didn't want to do no reading. Yeah. So my whole goal was okay, this is something that I enjoy. I passionately enjoy, and I had so much fun. To the kids was just calling me Mr. Reg, and to them just being attached to me. Now seeing some of them, then I'm like, yo, you how old now? Like, wow, the time that flew.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so seeing kids that you back then that were 12, 11, now you seeing them now, you're like, yo, man, they 15, I mean, they 23, 24, oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that right there was my start to me opening doors of me wanting to give back. And then that led into a journey for me in 2008 to me working seasonal work with the Boys and Girls Club up until 2011 when I took the job to become the gym instructor at our Westside site. I stayed at the Westside for about 3.5 years. From the Westside Boys and Girls Club, I then transitioned to assistant director at Mount Pleasant Boys and Girls Club. Up there in Mount Pleasant, I was there for about 9 months. And then from 9 months, I got promoted to become the club director at King Kenny Boys and Girls Club, the same club that I grew up in as a kid.
That's awesome.
So that was excellent. To fast forward from there, 2015, I became the athletic director for Boys and Girls Clubs of Cleveland, while I was the club director at King Kenny still. And then 2016, I also helped lead a campaign and a team to make sure that we opened up a teen center with the support of Boys and Girls Club and our president up at East Tech, my team, the teen center the same school I went to. There at East Tech, we opened that up with the help of NBA Cares and the Cleveland Cavs. That started in 16. So then in 16, I became club director at East Tech, and then I was still the director at King Kenny and overseeing athletics today for Northeast Ohio.
That's amazing.
So
it must be just wonderful to see kind of the influence you can have with these young kids and see them grow into amazing people. Is that what motivates you kind of every time you walk in the door?
What motivates me a lot is I see a lot of myself in the kids the youth that we serve.
Yeah.
I see kids who just want to have fun and want to be kids. They truly hardly with a passion want to be themselves, but they just don't know how to go about doing things because a lot of mentorships is lost nowadays. When I go into certain places and see different things, I'm like, even inside schools, it's not the same as how I felt it was when I was a kid, meaning there's a far-fetched disconnect between adults and youth. So I feel like within my role in the Boys and Girls Club, it's vital for me and it's important for us to make sure that we are connecting them, making sure that gap is not too far-fetched. So I try to be the one voice of reasoning, understanding, but also telling them like you're wrong if you're wrong, you're right, but at the same time showing the youth that there's ways to go about getting things done and getting things accomplished. Don't think that you have to settle because your environment or it's not this way. You don't have to be a product of your environment. You can also become more greater. You can be so successful that you never think. Your dreams that you have, you can make them come true. This is, have to put in some work and put a plan together, and let's just execute it. Things like that. So I try to be there for kids to say, like, you could go places that you never seen while I'm still striving and make sure I be, evident with that.
Yeah.
And
so you were definitely leading youth, but what made you feel like I could lead adults and run for councilman? Like, what gave you that confidence? Because it's a huge, like, you just don't huge jump.
So in 2017, the first quarter of the year, I was getting messages and calls via social media, text messages from different people in the community talking about city council. And me personally, I was like, what are you talking about city council? They're like, you should run for city council. This is why. A good friend of mine, his name Walter Patton, was he was very influential. He hit me up every day, like, weekly, like, bro, let's do this. You need to run. The people, we need you. We need the stuff that you like to do. We need you to do that for the whole community. Take it, you do great work in King Kennedy, you do great work over here, but we need you for our whole entire community. Down the way needs you. The Ward 5 needs you. Rich, let's do this. I'm like, I don't even know what city council does. Yeah. So I had to do some research, figure out, different services you could provide, help assist people with different issues that they're going on within the ward, how you can get them, bring the resources, bring community, bring partnerships, bring support for the housing department, making sure residents are being served. Right. I like that. So as I'm doing that research, I still like that. So I went to a couple of our seniors in King County and some mentors I had. I said, what's your thoughts on me running for city council? Everyone that I spoke to that was very influential to me told me, are you ready? I said, what you mean? They said, if you're ready, we can do this. So their support of them telling me that they wanted me to potentially run for city council was more than enough to make me, decide to run. Yeah. Fast forward 2017, throughout the campaign, it was up and down campaign. I've learned firsthand the hard work and pounding, grounding, and getting people involved is a lot of work. But also, I ran an 8-month campaign against a 12-year incumbent who beat me by about 300 votes. Okay. So, without no experience, without no thoughts of what's going on or what we're doing, me and about 4 other friends and about a team of no larger than 8 to 10 was able to come within 300 votes from winning an election. Yeah, that's pretty good. With limited resources, meaning the money wasn't rolling. Right. We were figuring out ways to get things together. We got in touch with the Board of Election to figure out what we need to do. And fast forward, back then, back in March, we announced that we was going to run and, got everything, our ducks in a row, got with the Board of Election to figure out what we need to do, got our EIN number, got our account page set up, got PayPal set up, started doing some fundraising, starting to reach out to people that were in the community who wanted to get on board, who believe in positive change, which was our slogan, because we were not looking to be into no dirty mess politics, but you know how politics is. But at the same time, running for city council, it opened my doors and to see that, 2017, God said you wasn't ready, Rich. You gotta get more tighter on your stuff. You gotta get more involved. You have to do a little bit more, but most importantly, you gotta play field already, Rich. You need to start closing the doors and chapters on that plate and start getting things finished so you can open up the doors to put something else in your plate, which is much greater. So after I lost the election, I instantly got in contact with Barton Wallace to find out what my balance was for school. Find out that I had an extremely high balance. BW is expensive. Yeah. Barton Wallace is expensive. So I was able to use some resources, was able to get that money, that balance taken care of. Once I paid the balance off, fall of 2018, I decided to enroll in school. Did my first semester, came out with 2 A's and a B minus. And then I went through the whole January
And this is all online, right?
So I was going to class.
Oh, okay. So you had a mission.
I had a mission. I was working, leaving work during midday, going to school at night. Sometimes I had a class during the day. So I had to take about 3, 6, I had like 10 classes, roughly 10 classes. I had 10 classes I needed to finish. So I took 3 in the first semester of fall at 2018, took about 3 in the spring, I took 1 in the summer, and then I did 3 fall of 19 and fall of 2019. I graduated December 14th, 2019, 3 days before my birthday. So it was a great time period because I had a goal on my bus that I need to get back focused. Let me finish school before I can start thinking about any political aspiration. I need to get my ducks in a row. So I took care of that, and I felt very confident that I could work 50, 60 hours a week and go to school. So, I just wanted to be an example for my babies. Me mentoring youth, I can't tell them that we get degrees and we're going to go to school and get your education. I didn't go back and finish. Come on now.
No,
can't
you
be a
have to
hypocrite.
be an example.
So I went back, and at my graduation, it was an honor to have about 60, 70 people there. Seated, and awesome. And the most important, I had my mentor, my president, Ron Sorter, as the keynote commencement speaker because he's a graduate of Baldwin Wallace. So he ended up getting a call. It was like no correlation. The president, Helmer from Baldwin Wallace, called him and agreed for him to be the commencement speaker, and it was just excellent. And that was just a great day for me because all of our kids was able to see a graduation from college. So now it's a point. Now we got this mark. Like, I can't wait till y'all invite me to your graduation from college.
Yeah. How old were you when you graduated?
I was 31.
Yeah. So that in itself is just an amazing example of someone that went to college early on. Then that was like an 8-year
gap.
8-year gap. Most people do not go back. That is so powerful that you were able to achieve that.
Yeah.
Through that because you were still doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I was successful in my role.
You were still influencing people, doing your work, gaining up in the branches of a Boys and Girls Club and other places, and still being able to go back and say, you know what, I'm gonna still work full time. I'll go back and get my degree.
Definitely interesting because I just feel like a lot of people go to school to get your job that you have right now,
right?
And it's like you already got it, but something your system motivated you like maybe I should just go complete it anyway.
Because you want to put yourself in that pool that others are not. So the way I look at myself is, hey, I have 12 years of experience working with youth.
Right.
But then I also have 13 years of experience in management. So I have 13 years of management experience, 12 years of youth experience, but now I got a degree to back that up.
Yeah.
So it's like being strategic on your approach and understanding how this society works and how this world works. And in the real world, sometimes they go against you for not having your degree, even if you have the skill set to possess it. So you need some type of knowledge or something to support what you're bringing to the table. And it's odd that things like that work that way. But what I look at is like I did the reverse. I got the experience, then I went back and got my degree. Yeah. So I'm able to say I have a lot of experience working with youth and working in the community, but I also now can say I do have the degree so I can be at the table as well as apply for positions much higher that may require.
Now you can sky's the limit.
Yeah, and it's a chapter in my story that I would never forget because I really had to focus and get myself on track to wanting to complete college.
It's amazing.
And to me now, fast forward now, I'm working on my MBA, finishing up my second semester. Okay. July 10th, I'll be done on my second semester.
Okay, where at?
Baldwin Wallace, working on the MBA program. So I've been
in what?
Business management.
Okay.
So what'd you graduate from?
Sports management, business management. So now I'm getting I'm an MBA, Master in Business Administration.
Okay.
So
awesome. So I seen on the Cleveland Article, CEO of.
Yeah, we're gonna be CEO.
Yeah, I love it.
CEO is a goal. So you also have to, like I said, I'm very strategic. I look at those before me. What do they have that I don't?
What do they do? How do they route?
if you want to be something that you don't experience yet, you have to find those like-minded people. You can't be around people who's not on the same goal as you. Yeah. Meaning, if they're complacent, if they're not trying to strive to go great, they're cool. But you want people around you that's pushing you and motivating themselves, that's trying to get to the next level or reach the heights that they want to see. Yeah. If you're not trying to do that, it's hard to be around me because I'm in another lane, and then it may get sidetracked. You may think that I'm arrogant, or you may think that I'm doing too much. But no, it's more so like I'm focused right now. I'm locked in, tunnel vision. To me, being able to say I graduated in December of 2019, then I turned around January, I enrolled back in school. To me now, this summer, last 4 weeks, I've been taking 3 classes and working online. So to me, saying July 10th, out of 13 classes that I need to finish my MBA, I already got 6 down in 2 semesters. Yeah. So it's like, it's all about what you're trying to accomplish, with a goal of me knowing that I believe that I will graduate May of 2021. So I know May 2021, I need to graduate. So my plan that's mapped out for me each semester is already rolled out. It's already rolled out on this is what I need to do. You just got to follow it. I need to follow it because now I have everything. I got it. No matter I'm on this bus, but I see that goal of that. I got to get that goal. That goal to just move from the back of the bus to be coming to the top of the bus. So it's one of those things that I try to do, like drive this bus to the best of my ability. Don't let no one stop me, and understand that the sky's the limit to any success that I want to achieve.
Yeah,
super dope.
That's great. That's amazing. Will, do you have anything else you wanted to ask?
Man, that was great. It's a lot. That's a lot that you done achieved, surpassed, and then just to be active in the community is really just dope. I mean, any day you could just stop. You know what I mean? Pick up a different job or something. But the fact that you just continue to just do it, like, that's crazy to me. And then I know, like, with the Boys and Girls Club, it's a lot of extra that they might ask you to do, like different hours, different times, stuff you might not expect. But, you see those kids and you just want to do it.
I mean, what I understand is the mission. And when you're trying to serve youth and you're trying to give back, everything else is irrelevant. So even when I have people who are not so friendly with me, or people who are not supportive of the things that I'm trying to accomplish or what we're trying to do, I just don't let it get to me because I'm tunnel vision to the fact that I know the end goal is that we're trying to serve you. Yeah. So if I'm trying to do the service, this beef or this hate or dislike or discomfort doesn't mean much to me because it's not effective at all to me at all because...
Yeah, because you're not worried about that. You
dissing me and talking bad about me and being negative with me. That don't hurt me. Yeah. Like, come on, man. I'm born and raised a kid, man. You can't tell me nothing I ain't heard before. Like, you can't diss me and tell me how poor. You can't talk about my mom. You can't talk about my parents and none of that. I mean, you can't talk about the fact that my dad been in and out of jail. That don't disturb me. You can't put my name out and putting bad, dirty stuff about me doesn't get me around because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I'm comfortable with my thing. Like, I could pull up, however, by myself or nothing, and I'm comfortable no matter what because I know who I am and I know what I possess. So just don't let nobody get you off track because you driving your bus.
Yeah, keep driving the bus to the direction you want to go.
Yeah, go.
You'll get to that destination at some point.
Drive your bus.
Yeah. Well, dude, that was just a great conversation.
Excellent, man.
Thank you. Super motivating. You got me thinking all sorts of stuff where I want to go, my goals. It was amazing.
No problem. Like, it's just, the goal. Like, I get excited when kids invite me around this time at all their graduation. Like, I usually be jam-packed going to graduation. But now it's like I'm strategically getting chose to go to this one. Now I got to go to this one and things like that. But it's more so is that mentorship piece. Like, when you have youth and you have them like, yo, I need you at my graduation. You need to be here for this. That gets me excited because it's like, I want them to know that you invited me. I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to do everything in my power to be there. God's will make sure I'm there.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Where can people find you if they want to check you out?
I'm on social media, Richard Starr, Richard A. Starr on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Richard 1 instead of an I, Starr, for my last name for Instagram. That's where those 2 platforms.
Okay.
And if they want to, help out and get involved, just go to...
If you want to get involved in anything as far as Boys and Girls Club related, we have everything on our Boys and Girls Club website. My email address is rstarr, STARR, at Cleve, CLEVE, kids, KIDS.org. That is all Boys and Girls Club. My political aspirations, you can hit me up directly, inbox me or anything like that, or you can reach me on my cell at 216-331-9505.
Awesome, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys help out, give back to your communities.
That's
That's what we're all here for, giving back. That's our goal. So thank you all for listening and watching. It's your boy Chef T.
I'm with a Spacekid.
Richard Starr.
Yeah.
So,
see you next week. Keep it real.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of the Stirfry. All the music was created by Steve Ozell, so check him out on all streaming services at StevoMusic, spelled ST3V30 Music. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And see you next Tuesday when we talk with Gary Little. He is the owner and founder of the clothing brand Made It Through the Struggle, aka Mitts. He tells us how he got started and the meaning behind the brand. He had an amazing story, so you won't want to miss it. See you next week, y'all.